This week on the net, French web users concerned about new data collection measures concerning their surfing habits. The week's news. The video of the week. Is the confidentiality of French web users' personal data under threat? This is a question currently on the lips of France's netizens, as on the 1st of March, a new decree related to the conservation and communication of data was added to the French Law for Trust in Digital Economy, the LCEN, established in June 2004. So, French hosting companies and internet service providers are now obliged to retain personal information on web users' identity and activity for a one-year period. The government says these measures are to help the fight against terrorism and piracy. We have to be able to trace the information to locate the problem, find out who's leaked the information. So we need to conserve the maximum amount of data. The information referred to in the decree is factual information. It's not about what you look at on the internet, your tastes and preferences. It's very difficult to deal with online libel allegations or other allegations concerning internet activity with paper evidence alone. So we have to adapt our laws according to changes in means of communication and the development of the internet.
Donc on a nécessité d'adapter notre droit aux évolutions de la communication et au développement de l'Internet.
Pseudonyms, usernames, sites visited, online purchases and also passwords. Hosting companies now have to retain highly personal client data and are under no obligation to destroy this information once the one-year period has passed. Web users feel these measures are intrusive liberty killers. The association Internet Sans Frontières is denouncing the decree, saying it will create a database of personal information belonging to 40 million French web users. It's a huge violation of privacy. A huge violation because it's not just names, contact details, clients' addresses. It's people's surfing habits, what sites they look at, what they buy online. It's very close surveillance. Monitoring passwords, mnemonic techniques for remembering passwords. It's going very, very far. So what are the risks for French web users? There are several dangers. First of all, files containing their personal data or their surfing habits could be institutionalized on a national level. There's also a risk of internet providers creating and using files for their own purposes, even selling the information, because there's no provision in the decree to stop them from doing so.
Puisqu'il n'y a rien de précisé dans le décret qui interdise à ceux qui vont constituer ces fichiers de les utiliser.
The CNIL, the French Independent Administrative Authority protecting privacy and personal data, have studied the matter and made their opinion known. Although in this document the authority raises several criticisms of the decree, it concluded with favourable opinions on this project. The authority plays down fears over data security and insists that, on the contrary, the bill will play an important role in protecting web users' personal data. We are in no way in a Big Brother situation. We're in a situation where, unfortunately, as you can see with the development of all these social networks, nowadays we hardly need certain police services because people post so much personal information on the internet. You must bear in mind that nowadays it's relatively easy to break into security systems, and even without hacking into anything. It's very easy to collect people's information from a simple Google search, and without any particular search options. So, in my opinion, it's more about warning people of the problem. You have the right to privacy, and also a duty to protect it. You must protect yourselves by not posting any old personal data online. Hosting companies, who often only have limited resources, are concerned about the costs involved in this new obligation. According to Internet Sans Frontières, some are even considering moving their platforms to neighbouring countries to avoid this extra expense. Entire towns have been literally engulfed by water. Neighbourhoods have been wiped out. Cars have been tossed about as if they were toys, as we see here at Sendai Airport in northeast Japan. Dozens of pieces of amateur footage, each more spectacular than the next, currently circulating on the web, and give an idea as to the extent of the damage caused by the earthquake and tsunami that devastated Japan on Friday. Many videos like this one, which were filmed as the earthquake was happening, continue to be uploaded online. The images bear witness to the magnitude of the earthquake and the violence of the tremors. Various online initiatives have been set up to help the thousands of victims, some of whom have lost everything. Google has set up a tool for those who are looking for loved ones or who have information about someone. And one Japanese web user created this interactive map indicating the temporary shelters that have been erected for victims. A group of Californian artists are asking web users to contribute works of art, some of which are already being exhibited on Facebook. The artworks will be sold and the money raised will go towards the Red Cross and their disaster relief efforts in Japan. And finally, and also via the internet, it's possible to follow the still very intense seismic activity around Japan using this Google Maps application, which catalogues all the aftershocks in the region in real time. Pray for Japan. Web users the world over are using these keywords to express their solidarity with the earthquake victims. Messages of support continue to pour onto social networks as the death toll from the devastating earthquake and tsunami that struck Japan continues to rise. A multitude of images have been uploaded by web users from all over the planet, paying tribute to the victims and hailing their bravery. Others, like Alexa and Scott Yoshimoto, two young Americans of Japanese origin, are showing their support via music with this version of a track by Canadian singer Justin Bieber. They're urging web users to make donations to the Red Cross.
But I know there's sunshine behind that rain. I know there's...
Numerous online platforms have been set up to raise money to aid victims. The NGO Global Giving has raised over $500,000 in just a few days. On blogger Noda Yuki's initiative, Japanese web users are translating the online messages of support so the Japanese people can see that the entire world is behind them. Conversely, others are translating accounts from local web users into other languages to show that during this difficult time, the people of Japan are helping one another and have not let panic get the better of them. Helicopters patrolling the skies and armoured vehicles parked in the streets. Martial law is in force in Bahrain, where the Sunni authorities appear determined to suppress the protest movement led by the nation's Shiite majority, which began last month. Police have forced out demonstrators who were occupying Pearl Square in the centre of the capital, Manama. This amateur footage shows protesters dispersing as tear gas is fired and thick smoke from burning tents rises up into the air. According to numerous Twitter users, during the violent intervention, communications were cut off and internet connections disrupted. Videos denouncing this brutal crackdown have already emerged on the web nonetheless. These images show an anti-riot police unit assaulting a demonstrator before leaving the scene and leaving him wounded on the ground. Several people have been killed and many others wounded in these clashes, as we see in these photos taken in a hospital in Manama. And according to a number of online videos, medical staff have also been targeted by security forces. According to numerous accounts on social networks backed up with photographs, security forces have even surrounded the city's main hospitals to stop the emergency services from bringing in victims. David Darg and Brian Musa are two filmmakers who work in the humanitarian sector and are currently posted in Haiti. They decided to show two young survivors of the earthquake that devastated the island in 2010 footage of the tsunami in Japan. At first, the youngsters are lost for words. They then go on to express their solidarity with the victims. In this poignant video, we see that despite the difficulties they have to face on a daily basis, these two boys are genuinely very upset about the situation in Japan.
Oh, sorry.